Hello. Hi. I think we are out of ads, so I figured I should actually finish getting stuff set up, because I still haven't. I forgot that Splatoon 2 has, like, all the idle chatter at the very beginning, and it's not skippable in this game, so I'm just gonna go through that real quick. But hello. Welcome on in. We're gonna do a special stream today. I realized it's the anniversary of one of my favorite series, Splatoon. I have a lot of good memories of playing these games, so I thought it'd be fun. By fun, I mean definitely my definition of fun, but not everybody's definition of fun. I thought it'd be fun to attempt the super boss of the series, really, because I don't think any other Splatoon game has anything like this. So, for the full context, the Octo expansion DLC for Splatoon 2 has a secret boss fight. And it is probably the hardest thing in the entire series. There is a hard challenge in Splatoon 3 too, but I actually don't... In some ways it's not as bad because you have checkpoints, even though it's longer. Just because of the formatting of that game, I don't think it's as bad in some ways. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to see if I can still do this fight. I've done it in the past, so I have gone through this and can definitely get through it in the future. However, let's see if we can still do it, because it's been a hot minute since I've attempted this. Alright. Getting in position here. It's been a bit since I've used the 16:9 layout. That's a Super Nintendo. I never noticed that on the background. Like directly where my character's looking. Like, that's straight up a Super Nintendo. Yeah, motion controls. That's fun. Takes a bit of getting used to. It's been a bit since I played Splatoon. Last Splatfest, so it's been a hot minute. Okay, let's get started. So, happy 10th anniversary to Splatoon. I love this series. I've put so many hours into the series. I checked my Switch playtime and discovered I put almost 600 hours into Splatoon 3 and almost 500 hours into Splatoon 2. And that is not counting other profiles, because I have done other story playthroughs because I didn't want to lose my save progress, so I just booted it up on a different profile. So I'm well over like 1,000 hours across the entire series. I love these games and wanted to do something special to celebrate. My first thought was to do a replay of Splatoon 1. However, I then had the other thought of, hey, what if I try to fight Inner Agent 3 and see if I can still do it? Last time I actually won this fight would have been years ago. I have done it, so I can get through it. It's just, how long will this take? How hard will it be? It's also really weird seeing this Inkling design, because you can't change what the Inkling looks like, I don't think. But I basically set the parameters for Inner Agent, or Agent 3 in general, to what I went for back in the day for like character creation, like the brown eyes and everything. Now I usually go for blue eyes, like my VTuber model, but yeah, back then I just tried to base characters more on me, but femme, which definitely might be indicative of a few things, but I never really put two and two together until much later. Hindsight. Yeah, I remember being at a Best Buy in 2015 and picking up the game and all of the amiibo. To be real, basically if a first-party Nintendo game on Wii U stood out to me, I bought it like day one, because let's be real, not a whole lot was on the Wii U, so I kind of was always trying to justify having a Wii U. Yeah, I played a decent amount of Splatoon 1. I never really got into it because I didn't have a wired connection, and thus the online was bad. So never really put as much time into Splatoon 1. 2 is one I got a wired connection, and also devoted serious time to try to get into the series. Like, I played every Splatfest except, like, one because of PAX West, I think. But beyond that, I put so much time into this series. Again, it's probably one of my favorite Nintendo series now, in terms of hours played. How... I'm not keeping track of how many attempts are at. That'd be ridiculous. I'm not... I'm not about that right now. If anyone else wants to track it, I mean, be my guest, but I also don't want to subject anyone to that. So yeah, this is kind of a framework for me to just reminisce about Splatoon a bit. In a framework that one, I don't need to concentrate too much on, because, like... I mean, this is a hard as hell fight. However, I'm not having to focus on, like, story or anything, so it's not quite the same. And then I'm also trying to... yeah, just kind of reminisce a bit on the series. So yeah, put a lot of time into Splatoon 1 at least, and 2, and 3. 3 is my most played, which is weird, because it's, like, not well liked in a lot of ways, just because, like, the very corridor-heavy level design was not as popular, and just, like, balancing, and also just kind of feeling unnecessary, because, like, we already have Splatoon 2 on Switch, so... I wouldn't be shocked if it got moved to, like, Switch 1, but was sort of meant to be, like, a Switch 2 launch title or something like that, just to get the game spread out more. But again, who knows. Hello! But yeah, welcome in everybody. Hi Eden, hi Stormlight, hi Mario. Hope y'all doing well. Again, I have no clue how long this is gonna take, or if we will even get through this. I'm giving myself 2 hours, for the record, to get through this. I do not know if that's reasonable or not. Great, sis asshole. Hi, Nicole. Yep, I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to try this fight again? I actually enjoy this fight, not gonna lie. I don't know what that says about me. I like hard games if it's a game I actually like, which is weird. You know, I'm not gonna play a Dark Souls game because I know that's not for me. But, like, if it's a game I can get into, like Splatoon, I don't mind it that much. Yeah, good luck with cleaning. Yeah. Splatoon is a series that's been with me for a large portion of my life, 10 years now, almost a third of my life has been spent playing these games. And yeah, it's sort of weird to look back on it, because, like, you know, at least 2 genders ago, if you want to count a brief stint of non-binary as 2 genders, like, one and then, like, going to non-binary and then going to trans. So yeah, essentially 2 genders ago. Which is wild. Yeah, a lot of good memories. 2015 was a weird year in hindsight, because that was kind of the year before everything went to hell from my personal life, and then also in other ways too, at the end of 2016. So, yeah. So the series has kind of been with me through some very not fun parts of my life, which I think is part of the reason I resonate with it so much, why it means so much to me. Because it has been with me in a way for a long-ass time. So there's a resonance there. It's like a sentimental series, even though it's like 3 games, and again, like, all of them have their big issues, to be honest. Ow. You can actually kind of get Inner-Agent 3 to cooperate with you. Like, if you time, like, bombs and stuff, and then try to get them to roll into it, that can work. I've seen runs of it that are like 40 seconds if you can, like, kite them into, actually rolling into a bomb. Yeah, I'm not really locked in, admittedly. Again, I have done this fight before, so I'm not trying to get the reward or anything. This is just kind of me vibing. I didn't really feel like doing it like a full playthrough of Splatoon 1. I don't even know if I'd count it for Fox Girls favorites, to be honest, because as much as I like Splatoon, I don't know which one I'd do if I had to pick one. I guess it would be Octo expansion, huh? Though 3 is the one that almost resonates more as much as I like 2 better. Just because I have played 3 more meticulously. Partly because of the catalog system, I actually kept up with things a little bit more. There's a weird argument to be made, and you're gonna be like, not surprised at all by this analogy, but it's like, a way to explain it is like, I think Splatoon 2 is the Guilty Gear Xrd of Splatoon, and then like Strive is Splatoon 3, where it's like, yeah, things are kind of out of whack, but it's still the game I devoted the most time to, so it's still sentimental to me, even though I think Xrd's better. Like, objectively as a game, I think Xrd is better in a lot of respects. And yeah, Splatoon's the same way. Like, the emotional side of me says I like Splatoon 3 a lot, but objectively speaking, when you put 2 and Octo expansion together, it's like, it's kind of hard to rival that in terms of quality. Hi to Long Guy, welcome on in. Again, this is kind of a low-key stream, and basically I'm not feeling at 100% today. Just like health stuff. I assume it's a hormonal thing, if I had to quantify it as anything. That happens a lot at the end of the month for me, so it's like pretty consistent, which is why I think it's a hormonal thing. Ow. I'm being too aggressive, I need to play more defensively. Also, sometimes I feel like my VTuber model just leans really far, like to the side, and it's like kind of clipped into the window, and I actually don't want that to happen. So it's like I need to think about my posture more. I need to have better posture. But yeah, in terms of overall, like, series opinions, Splatoon 1 is just kind of a comfort game in a way. It's just a very cozy, like, I can get through the story in, like, 3 hours kind of game. For a stream, it might take longer because of, like, dialogue and stuff, but who knows. Splatoon 2's campaign, I think, is actually really good. I'm just sick of it, because I did all 9 weapons. I got the 1000% on it, which was not a good call, by the way. It was not worth it. But hey, I can say I have gotten 1000% on Splatoon 2, and never again, and thus I'm also just kind of sick of the campaign in general. Unfortunately, Octo expansion, though, is like peak Splatoon, like legit some of the best content in the series, I'd say. Like, straight up, Octo expansion is, like, actually incredible. Then Splatoon 3's story mode is, like, kind of building off of Octo expansion, but with an open, like, hub area. And I think it's so good, I just don't think the plot hits the same. It's like, I love the Squid Sisters. I will always have a bias for the Squid Sisters. But I do like Pearl and Marina more in a lot of ways. Like, the nostalgic pick is Pearl, like, Callie and Marie, but, you know, objectively, I think, you know, not objectively, subjectively, I think, Pearl and Marina are my favorite duo. Of the 2, Cut's fine too. I just don't feel like they're as fleshed out, because they've only been in 1 game so far. So yeah, again, no guarantees we'll even get through this fight. I'm gonna do my best, though. I'm also not in my A game today in general, so yeah, this probably won't be a success, but again, I just kinda wanted to mess around with Splatoon a bit. Again, it's been a bit since I played Splatoon period, let alone Octo expansion. The problem with the idea of Foxgirl's favorites as a series is like trying to narrow down a list so I'm not literally playing these like childhood games and like nostalgic games for the rest of my life, basically. When some of them are like Xenoblade length. I feel like actually when they're using their specials, a decent chance for attacking. I was trying last night a little bit also, just to do audio testing. However, I actually got to phase 5, and died. So like, I can do it still, it's just also harder when I'm trying to talk about things. But then you also have the inner, like, debates, because obviously you can go, group, but you can also go individual. Like, my favorite overall idol would probably be Marina. For Off the Hook, and then I actually like Callie from Squid Sisters. Deep Cut, I usually go Shiver, but all of them are good. I almost feel like I tend to lean towards Fry as well, just because, frankly, she was always like the underdog in every Splatfest, so there's a bit of like, I don't know, I would often go like whichever team's Shiver was on, just to be supportive, because it's like, yeah, no one's picking Shiver for some reason. The frustrating part with Splatoon is, I wish there was a PvE mode, because like clearly this shows their AI is pretty decent for this kind of thing. Wait, that was phase 3? Or phase 2? Wait, what phase was that? I'm confused, I think this is phase 4. I'm actually not sure, because my brain is mush. Yeah, I'm not locked in, so I'm like, wait a minute, we got to this part already. So this is the splashdown phase. This part sucks. Because they'll just spam splashdown. Eventually they'll stop, and that leaves them open. Gonna just back up a little bit here. Yeah, they're gonna start the splashdown cycle again, which I'm fine with. I think they do 3? Shit. Yeah, I don't like that. The idea I've seen pitched for Splatoon 4, if there is one, like a direct numbered sequel, is to do 2 groups of 2 idols for Splatfest. So you have 4 idols, like a band, basically. However, you still go back to the 2-team format for Splatfests. And I think that'd be wise, because 3 teams wasn't it. Ain't it, Chief? Shit. I'm having to play very defensively. Damn, there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver here. You go this way, I guess. Wait, did she only do 1? Huh. Weird. Okay, she can just kind of do an emergency splashdown, gotcha. Like a crowd control kind of thing. I am actually focusing this time, because like, oh, this is as close as I've gotten. Shit. Ah, damn it. That's bad. That's really bad. Yeah, we have like no room to maneuver here. That's the main issue at the moment, is just we're losing coverage. Dealing enough damage is also hard. I'm also just not a good aim, which is not helping. Shit. Yeah, okay. That was a good attempt. Yeah, the lack of checkpoints is what makes this actually difficult. Hi GV, welcome on in. That was a good effort. Almost got him a few times, but just not quite enough. That was a weird, like, movement pattern there. I have no clue what they were doing there. Yeah, like... it kind of hit me how much this series means to me when the Final Fest happened. Because I realized, like, I just, like, got to the Final Fest and, like... I mean, I'm almost tempted to boot that up after. If, like, this doesn't take too long, I might boot that up for a moment. Just to show it off again. I already did a full stream of it, to be fair, but... It kind of hit me during the wind down, because basically, the Final Fest had a period of, like, not having, like, much going on, and the idols are just all performing, like, very mellow, like, goodbye songs, kind of, and it's like... It really hit me. I just started crying, basically, and it's like the hardest I've cried over a game in a long-ass time, because it's like... I kinda didn't realize how much this series meant to me, to be honest. Okay, the Autobomb launcher is phase... 3. Bubble is phase 2. Okay. Yeah, the constant autobombs is also a problem. That is too short. Okay. That'll be it, I think. However, I need to quickly gain back as much ground as I can. Yeah. I still have a lot of positive feelings towards Splatoon 3, but again, it's like I recognize it is a game that has a lot of objective flaws. That kind of kept me from getting into it as much, which is a shame. From an emotional level, even though it's the most played Splatoon for me, it's like weird. I put a lot of time into Splatoon 3 because I do things out of FOMO a lot, I'm gonna be real. Like, the reason I play, like, certain games as much as I do is just FOMO. Which is not healthy, I fully admit, but... it's true. Oh, I am hurting. Yeah, Final Fest was great, and very emotional, and again, it just really hit me all in that moment, like, damn, the series does mean a lot to me, huh? If I can get a good bomb hit, that'll help a lot. Damn it. I want to say the specials are actually healing her, but I'm not sure on that. So we basically just have to take her out before... Hey, there we go. Horrible camera angle to get that final hit. As we are blocked by some random object. Damn, how long did that take? Like, under half an hour? That was really short. Oh. So yeah, this is a series that does mean a lot to me. Just came in, great job. Oh, thank you. Again, the only problem is, what do I do now? Because again, I was expecting this to at least take an hour. So, oops. But yeah, I think I actually basically gave all my thoughts on the series as a whole. It's like, yeah, in this particular game, I'll hop back to the menu, I suppose. I just realized something really awkward. I actually don't know how this game deals with usernames. So I might not play online because I don't know what username it's going to give, if it's going to give my dead name. So I'm not going to jump into online, for sure. Switch to Strive. I actually might, like... Because I still haven't done a Unica stream yet, so I might do that. Because that was like way shorter than I thought it was going to be. Why am I in here? That was kind of my backup plan, was potentially pop over to Strive for a bit. And just do an arcade run, but that still would only be like an hour-long stream. Where the hell is it? There it is. Garbage gear, too. I do not have anything good on this particular piece of equipment. But yeah, the gold toothpick is your reward for defeating Inner Agent 3. So this will be the third time in my entire life I've beaten this fight. So I am happy about that. I'm actually, you know, having mixed feelings from a streaming perspective of it only taking like under half an hour, but that was very smooth. Again, I don't know what name it will show, so I'm not gonna pop out. Oh wait, it is actually Splatstones, but yeah, I basically like leveled up a ton of stuff. Your name on your Switch page, so that should be fine. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, obviously, wow, I'm surprised I'm lower ranked than Rainmaker. But Splatstones does not surprise me. This is the only game where each ranked mode is individually scored, because every other one just has a collective rank for both. Damn, I don't have nearly as much stuff in this game. But yeah. Oh, wait a minute. God damn it. Right. Where would that be? Yeah, this game does not have Salmon Run at all times. It is on, like, schedules that are a lot tighter than they used to be, but there are still a lot of moments where Salmon Run will not be accessible. So, oops. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we can pop back over to Octo expansion for a bit. Yeah, I really enjoy Pearl and Rena especially. Their interactions are very good. Which is the one? If you know this game, you probably know exactly what I'm looking for. But I don't remember which one it's in. There it is. It's like they do not let Pearl swear. However, I think she should be allowed to swear. Something very funny about this, but again, I love the lore of the series. That's why, even though, again, gameplay-wise, I have qualms with Splatoon 3's level designs in particular. That's why I'll always enjoy this game as the series as a whole, because there's so much put into the world building. It is probably Nintendo's best world building series, partly because it's post-apocalyptic, in essence. So it is one of the denser series for lore. For example, you have like all the bands, not just the main 3 that host things, but like even the supporting bands all have lore. Like, there was a ton of lore of, like, Big Man doing collabs and not telling the other 2, creating a rivalry that continued into some of the Splatfests. A lot of, like, what they're doing with Mario Kart World, where all the stages are connected into, like, one big world that you can travel between, I would actually be, like, really interested to see them do that with Splatoon at some point, to do an open world Splatoon where you can just go to all the stages in universe. Like, you can just go to, like, the gym or, like, Kelp Dome, and they're just locations throughout the world. Evan Shaffrey in BGM. Yeah, pour one out. Also, like, the Octo expansion in general is really nice because you have characters work, like Cuttlefish specifically having fought in the Great Splat War, working through some of his internal biases, which is nice. Then you have Pearl, who's like, wait, what are you talking about? I just thought Marina had, like, a different hairstyle. Yeah, the dynamic between Pearl and Rena in the DLCs are what really sells me on these characters more so than the other 2. Again, Callie and Rhea are great, but like Pearl and Rena have much better world building and like character growth because between Order, wait, what was I saying? Between Octo expansion and Side Order, there was a lot put into the relationship between these two. There's no heterosexual explanation, is all I'm going to say, especially when you get to side order. But yeah, the other big speculation that has been happening for a year now is what the hell is Splatoon 4 going to be? I think step one is I want Splatoon 3 and 2 to both get mouse support. I'm not even kidding. I genuinely want that. Yeah, Pearl is like very protective of Marina, and it's very cute. Oh, look at that. I forgot about a lot of these, to be honest. It's been a bit since I played this. Again, I'm almost like going through this and thinking maybe I should toss this in to the favorites pile as an option. But you also have all the sunken scrolls, you have all of the external material too. It's just, there's a ton to dive into for the series. It's very nice. Again, I'll always be a huge Splatoon fan, even if I'm not into individual games at times. I would almost love to see a spin-off that's just like single player. Obviously, you lose a market by not having a multiplayer game. It has to be like concurrent, I think. But I legit think a spin-off would be really cool, like a side-scroller or something. But again, like an open world, I think would be neat. There's a lot of options for Splatoon going forward, so I'm really excited to see what they do next, but I think it'll still be a while. Because of how samey Splatoon 3 was, I have a feeling... And because past 1, the Final Fest, I think the new game... If we get a new Splatoon game anytime soon, it'll be a departure from the current era. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my god, we're gonna get a game about the Splat War because past 1. I don't think that's the case. My guess is actually that we're going to get, like... kind of like Octo expansion, actually, where the main antagonist is basically like a rogue AI from the human civilization. I feel like we're going to get something similar to that, where like some ancient technology, quote unquote, is going to come back and cause problems. But I don't think they would set it actually in the past, because let's be real, people like Pearl and Marina a lot, and I don't think they would want to sacrifice their beloved characters by doing a drastically different setting. I think it'll still be set in the future, but we'll have elements of like ancient technology coming back. Because again, you have the Squid Sisters, you know, Deep Cut as well. It's like, I don't think they'd want to lose like their concerts and stuff. But that's my theory, at least. Yeah, the Octo expansion in general is also just really fun. You know which one we have to find, right? Nope, not that one. Again, if you play the Octo expansion, you probably know exactly which one I'm trying to find. Yep, there it is. This is like one of the most notorious stages in the entire game. There are a couple that are like notoriously difficult in this game. One thing I really love about the Octo expansion in general is you have a bit of like a freeform approach to some things. Interesting. But basically, you basically have 4 main objective points on the station map. However, you only need to basically get to that one point and just kind of skip everything else if you want to. You don't have to go out of your way to get every level cleared. You can opt to just focus on, you know, progress, basically. So because of that, I don't think the Octo expansion is too inaccessible. It is definitely not easy. It is probably the hardest Splatoon campaign. Still, side order is kind of challenging, more so because you can kind of get screwed over by RNG, more so than it being, like, super difficult, I'd say. Like, a lot... If you just have a really bad build, a lot can go wrong, but it's like not inherently as difficult as Octo expansion, which I think is kind of like geared to be like hard mode. In a way, it's almost disappointing that nothing has actually come close difficulty-wise in the series other than like parts of Alterna. But even then, I think Alterna is on the whole a lot easier. It's kind of immersion. Oh, okay. What does that do? Okay, that resets you outright. Okay, this level is actually kind of difficult then. Again, it's been a bit. I'm trying to think of any other like super notorious levels, and I'm actually drawing a blank. Like, this is the one that always comes up as like really difficult. I can't think of any others though. But also, like, Cuttlefish's state at the end of 3's story mode, it's like, I wonder what they're gonna do with that going forward. He's still, like, in his squid form at the end of the game, because, you know, he's at the Final Fest. I'm almost tempted to boot up the Final Fest stage, just to show that off as well. Another thing that gets a bit overlooked is being able to heal the orb, too. Knowing you can heal the orb makes this a smidge easier, at least. I don't think the game even tells you that. Like, doesn't even tell you that's an option. Which is kind of a messed up on the game's part. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this is actually legitimately difficult. I don't know if I'm actually going to clear this or not. He drank water? Rehydrated cuttlefish. But yeah. I definitely don't like the catalog system in Splatoon 3, even if it was what got me to play the game more than any other Splatoon game. I just, you know, Battle Pass, essentially, at least it was all free, that was nice. But it still, you know, ultimately had the problem of, like, forcing FOMO, even if it was actually very easygoing, all things considered. Did you already beat the boss? Yeah, it only took like 25 minutes. Like, straight up. Like, I just kind of schmoovin', basically. Well, I am getting beat up here. Oh, okay. Yep. Also, hi. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well today. Again, I'm not having the best day. It does feel nice to actually be back on schedule and be streaming at the moment. Because it had been a bit since I've done a Thursday stream. I'm thinking about making, like, Monday the main playthrough day, and I kind of want to add in a different... Oh, that's a bad start. Add in a second main day, like, main playthrough day, and then have, like, Thursday be a variety day, ideally. Again, the main reason I'm not immediately jumping over to Strive is mostly just because ad break. I figure, you know, we'll do an hour of Splatoon and then mess around with Strive for a bit and then probably raid out. Yeah, I'm, like, completely botching this. Okay. I used to have a good strategy down for this. Yeah, be very aggressive, pretty much. You have to, like, take initiative. I'm also, you know, not playing this game for real, in terms of, like, trying to clear it, so I'm also just kind of half-assing this, I'll fully admit. But yeah, getting to final phase of, Inner Agent 3, it only took the second time getting back to that phase to actually win the fight. It was actually pretty smooth. Leave for dinner and come back to Girl Power Station. Yeah, again, I was just like, hey, what if I play one of the other really hard parts of this game? Like, how would that go? Again, it's not going great, obviously. Oh, that's bad. Inkstorm. It's gonna deal a lot to it. Oh boy. Oh well. Insufficient. Okay, so that's a problem. I forgot I spent all my points because I wasn't really planning to jump back in on this file. You don't have enough points. Good gracious, seems you've been spending your funds a bit willy-nilly. I don't think I've ever seen this dialogue. Alright. Sending cash won't exactly help. Oh. This casually gives you $3,000. Stealing from your father is reprehensible. I'll pay him back later, so no harm, no foul. Just give it to Cap when you pay it back. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. What do you have to say? I saw a text box, so I'm like... Oh! Use 581 and have Marina pay back with you. Huh. Oh my god. I had no clue this was even in the game. Straight up. I had no idea. Wild. Legit had no clue. I'm trying to think of any other levels that are like super notorious and aren't just an 8-ball level. Given that I'm also very much in debt at the moment. It's like I probably shouldn't F around too much with this kind of thing, just because like, I forgot or / didn't even know that was a mechanic in the first place. Yeah, more accurately, I never knew about that. Wait, what? I also never did like 100% for Octo expansion just because some of the missions would be absurdly difficult. Same with Alterna. Like this one has a thing where you have only burst bombs, so now I'm curious. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of mess around with this game for a little bit. I don't remember this level at all. Yeah, no, this is gonna suck, actually. Because our coverage is bad. Not that the Squiffer is great, either, to be fair. You know, love all the locations that you can see outside the train windows. Yeah, Splatoon is great for atmosphere. Again, if I have to give anything to the series as a, as a whole, it would be atmosphere and characters. Because I love the characters, too. Just all this incidental dialogue that I'm absolutely not paying attention to, because I'm trying not to die. Yeah, in all seriousness, it's great. The series is great. Again, very excited to see what they do next. Though I think it'll be a bit. My guess, to just give a prediction of what I think is going to happen next, I think the Animal Crossing team and the Splatoon team are very similar. So I think we're actually more likely to get a new Animal Crossing and then a new Splatoon. But I may be completely off base. Ow, okay. Another theory I've had is that maybe Pocket Camp Offline might get like a Switch release at some point as like a kind of a filler title. Like a, relatively inexpensive digital release. But just kind of hold that one over until the next, like, mainline Animal Crossing. Wow, this sucks, actually. I have a better idea. Are you ready for it, the station? The Octo Oven I don't think is that bad, is the thing. Again, I think it's just Girl Power Station and, like, a couple of the 8-ball levels that are, like, the really hard ones. Everything else is, like, pretty manageable, I'd say. Oh yeah, the block ones where you have to, like, make a shape, those ones suck, but they're not, like, difficult, they're just tedious. Alright, what do you want me to do here? Oh, that's slightly awkward positioning. But I love how much, like, bespoke level design there is in Splatoon, where it's like, you know, making a level that's like adaptive like this to different weapon styles, like, you know, you don't even have a regular weapon, you only have like a gun. You don't even have a gun is what I mean. And like, that's really cool, like actually giving you a challenge completely based around, completely based around like not even having a weapon. Or having like a sniper, which is like a very unique combination. So yeah, a lot of props to the individual levels. And again, Alterna kind of builds off of this for Splatoon 3's campaign. I just think something about Alterna doesn't, like, from a gameplay perspective, Alterna is great. From a vibe perspective, it kind of leaves a lot to be desired, I think, is ultimately my take on it. This is a bad idea. This is a very bad idea. Like, mostly just, again, I love the Squid Sisters, but they're not as, like, interesting, I think. So... Or maybe they're just kind of played out at this point, because they've been in so many games. You know, they've been in every game so far, so they're not as novel as Pearl and Marina. Yeah, no, this level's actually not easy with just burst bombs. But again, it's really fun that they give you this as an option at all. Okay, bad timing. But yeah, just like the backgrounds, like all the details, like there's sort of a surreal energy to Splatoon with just like a bunch of real objects floating around. It also kind of raises the question of how big are Inklings? Because sometimes it's like, you know, being able to use a whole ass pencil as a weapon is like, how tiny are they? But, you know, they're squids, so it wouldn't be overly out of the question for them to just be really small. I should probably deal with the other enemies before trying to even jump up on those. But what if I just decide to be reckless? Just gonna... strategic retreat. Yeah, I might do a full playthrough of this at some point. God damn it. Well, so much for making back money. That sucks. We continue to go further in debt. Hello, thank you for the head pats. Again, oh wait, I thought I selected to not redo this stage. Yeah, I could have sworn I selected to not re-enter, but you don't pay until later, so it's fine. Yeah, Innovation 3 went really well, question mark. Yeah, it was only in like one level of 3, and I almost feel like it's more of a bit than anything. Like, aha, here's that thing everyone complained about, and just kind of to jump scare you, but not actually present a super deep challenge. Yeah, I'm not gonna attempt this, but yeah, oh, this is the really crappy one too, oh. Yeah, no, I'm not in the mood. Yeah, we are now in debt, so that's great. But there's some ones that I have not done that also would not suck ass. This one would, because trying to do this with a blaster sounds miserable. Again, very interesting how this game is structured. Again, I almost feel like having a hub area for Splatoon 3's campaign almost misses the point in a way. Where it's like fine, but having a hub kind of just slows down the pacing of everything. Like, part of the appeal of like this game for me is just how snappy everything feels. Like, you're in and out of levels so quickly, and you really don't get that out of Alterna. That one points out what crates you need to break. That's also true. But just having to, like, calculate splash damage around that sounds miserable. Like, trying to, like, manipulate splash damage very carefully. It sounds like a nightmare. So... like, the other weapon wouldn't be too bad. It's just mostly the blaster that I'd be worried about. I think for Alterna, I did most of the levels. With every weapon, there's a couple I missed. I did get the really hard bow level, though, that everyone was struggling with, myself included. Yeah, it's also fair that, like, the level design mentality varies between a level that's, like, meant to be a stupid hard challenge and a level that's supposed to be a tutorial. Because, like, a lot of Splatoon, to be real, are glorified tutorials. And, like, they're fun tutorials, but they're still just tutorials. Yeah, I'm trying to get out of debt really quickly. That's a wild statement to be making. Oh, I thought I missed that. Okay. I forgot that the stage just kind of keeps going. Yeah, Squeezer's not bad. There we go. Not bad at all. And I still don't think we have enough to pay back Pearl's dad. Again, it's funny that I never even knew about that, like, bit of lore building. Like, legit had no idea that was a thing. I love this, actually, because it's like... my take is... it's really nice when you find out things you never knew about a game. Like, I've done like 2 or 3 playthroughs of the Octo expansion, so like, it's really fun, actually, that I'm still discovering things I didn't know about this game. Albeit, you know, going into debt isn't the most fun discovery in the world, but it is just kind of interesting, because I never saw that dialogue before. But yeah, I basically spent everything on, like, the gacha machine inside the station to get items for the main game. And it's like, oops, hey, I don't have enough to actually play the actual mode now, so that's a miscalculation. I don't feel like doing a salmon run, as much as I enjoy salmon run. Also, oh my god, this will take the rest of the ad break. It's just sitting through this, because you can't skip it by, like, skip all of it like you can in the other games. You have to sit through it all. I always find it weird that Splatoon 2 and 3 coexist on the same platform. Like, it's really weird that Splatoon 3 even exists. I know they needed to freshen up the meta and also just like, detach it from some of the clutter that builds up over time. As someone who followed the development of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA one, very closely, it's really fascinating how much, like, adding one thing can just break something else completely unrelated. Like, so much stuff was like, nope, that's just completely busted. Wow, I never even got all the clothes in this game. Huh, I really didn't play this game as much as I thought I did. I say having put hours upon hours, or is that a refresh? Nope, that's straight up an item I never got. Damn. Maybe I should play Salmon Run on my own time. Seems like this is like the only thing I don't have, though. It's nice, but... so yeah, in conclusion, I really enjoy Splatoon. I'm looking forward to more Splatoon in the future. I'm very much not like feeling 3 anymore, or 2 for that matter. I've kind of burnt out on both. You know, playing both for a collective 1,000 hours would do that. But yeah, someday I would love to jump back into the series. And yeah, it was nice being able to revisit this game a little bit. And again, I almost considered revisiting Splatoon 1 specifically, but ended up just thinking, hey, this would be fun, and also a lot less of a time commitment, which also is nice, because I wasn't sure how early I'd be able to stream today. So yeah, ad break is coming up very soon, so I'm going to switch games in a quick moment. Again, Guilty Gear Strive had an update, added the character of Yuna, so we'll be trying her out in her arcade mode. So I'm gonna go set that up and also take a quick stretch break and hydration break. Hi, we are back now. We're going to swap over to the game really quickly, but I still need to get everything set up here. We're not gonna go over the trailer or anything, just, you know, to get a move on, I guess, but this will be interesting. I don't know this character very well. This isn't a Dizzy situation where I've like labbed on my own time, so I can't guarantee this will be a smooth arcade run, but again, we're gonna try an arcade run either way. We'll probably get bodied a little bit, but it'll be fine. Song's wrapping up, so we'll tab back over to the game. Turn this off. And that should be it. One sec, I don't think I'm getting game audio. Capture audio is turned on. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Yeah, that's what that is. Oops, I accidentally hit the game audio source, that's what happened. Alright, we should be good to go. So where the hell am I gonna put chat? Because it's like, this is a PC setup. It's like, do I need a third monitor at this rate? Anyway. Okay, Unica's out in Strive, so I really quickly wanted to attempt another arcade run. In general, I might just do arcade runs of every new character that comes out. I might skip Lucy just because I don't know anything about Cyberpunk and don't really have a lot of investment in that series, to the point where I actually just might skip, and if there's a season after, then we will jump back in and test out those characters. But again, it kind of depends. Maybe I'll be more inspired in the moment than I am now. But right now, I'm not really feeling Lucy. Oh yeah, I forgot. I had CPU settings turned on because I was labbing a little bit with Dizzy, actually, not even with Unica. So this update added frame data. It's not as good as Street Fighter's that has like the bar on the bottom. Someone did mod that in, but this is adequate. I would prefer the Street Fighter 6 method. So Unica is like a rushdown character. She has a lot of moves that are very reminiscent of Kai. So you have, is that Stun? Yeah, Stun Dipper, and then this one, which is like, Kai has several moves that basically do this in different games, and they're all called different things, it feels like. So yeah, some similarities to Kai. Her command normal, her 6H, changes modes for the weapon she has. So for example, the normal laser attack looks like this. If you mode switch first, it looks like this, and I think does more damage. This goes for a lot of her specials. Again, I don't remember attack names particularly well. She has a lot of, like, chains, too. Like, basically all of her, like, slash and heavy slash moves can chain into, Mud Arbalist, which is nice. Her theme is also very good. Carpe Diem is, like, probably up there, like, top 3, for me right now. And just Mud Arbalist while unleashing a... Okay, so... Yeah, you can actually chain dust, jumping dust into that, so that's neat. And it almost seem alright. I guess I don't have the, like, know-how to be overly technical with this character in all fairness. She seems alright though, but I said that about Dizzy and was very quickly proven wrong on that. She has a DP, which is nice. I wish more characters had this, to be honest, because I feel like wake-up options can be a problem in this game, but maybe I'm just saying that as a Dizzy main. Blaze the Trail is like a sweep. This is basically what seems to be the best wall break move at the moment, from what I've seen. So Megadeth Buster is like her typical super. I don't know if that's like a Mode Arbalist version of her super. Yeah, I don't think there is. But then her other special is really weird because she has to be at low health for this. You're kind of on Unica's theme. That's fair. I just like the Easter eggs of it, I think. I think that's kind of what does it for me, is just the sort of references to everything. But hey, spoilers for the anime, but her other special is this. This one's interesting because it's kind of like a, you know, a dust, but you can basically combo in midair, and then it'll have an automatic finisher. I'm really bad at this, by the way. Do not expect good results from this. But if you press slash and heavy slash together, you get a special finisher. So, I'm gonna talk about the anime a little bit. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. One, the super is like one of my favorite supers in the game now. Two, nothing like this happens in the anime. It's like straight up. I wouldn't thought this was gonna happen in the anime, but like Thundersteel being inside her weapon is cool. Her getting like the longer hair and tail to reference Dizzy is really cool. Doesn't show up at all. And there's like no explanation for it. And I think it would have been a cool reveal in the anime to be like, oh, Thundersteel is actually what's charging a weapon. Like, that'd be really cool. But that doesn't come up at all. What else? As is pretty obvious from day one, literally when this character was announced to be in the anime, everyone's like, she's kind of Dizzy's daughter, isn't she? And it's like, yeah. Oh. I just noticed. At low health, you can actually see electricity around her. Legitimately didn't notice that until now. So that's kind of telling you can do the fancy super. Her taunts are interesting. One of her taunts involves like judging the fashion choices of other characters. They're mostly like fixed lines, but certain characters have special ones, like Bridget. She makes a comment about like, you know, oversized clothes are really in right now. She comments on like Elfelt's boots. A lot of the characters just have like very canned responses. So yeah, there's not as much to say about her because she's a new character. There's not as much like lore to her other than what's in the anime, and I'm kind of like not entirely sure what to talk about with that. You got a Kai ult, which makes sense, but the other thing that people are very normal about is people think this is a Bridget reference. Like the blonde streak and also the overall color palette. And that's the whole thing to talk about too. Again, I'm going to be talking about the anime a little bit. I'm not going to go super deep into it, but like pseudo review of the anime, I guess. I think the anime was a lot of fun as someone who's into Guilty Gear. I think it's also complete nonsense sometimes in terms of its pacing being all over the place and just also not explaining a lot, and also a lot of the twists of it being completely guessable from like frame one. And again, that goes for Unica herself, where everyone was like, she's got red eyes, she's got the little blue streak in her hair, she's gotta be related to Dizzy, right? And it's like, surprise, surprise, she is. So the TLDR is she's tricked by her evil dad from the future to try to eliminate all the gears. Surprise, surprise, she's also a gear herself, so it also is gonna work on her. But then, like, everyone kind of powers through, stops the bad guy. Yunika's, like, pardoned by the government for helping, basically, but is also at this point, like, kind of working in, like, the president's secret service, basically. So that's why Gio's here, because, like, there's a connection there. Which one's Bingus? Yeah. Basically, Bridget tells her about, like, finding her own shape, which ends up inspiring her to, like, defy her father, essentially. Fun thing in the anime, this is mildly spoilery, there's a point where Bridget gets, like, stabbed by a monster. And then, like, Yunika has a moment where this is what drives her to, like, take charge and, like, try to save the day. And it's like, yeah, this doesn't happen with, like, this is framed very much like shipping, kinda. The other thing worth noting, though, about that is people have thought Bridget dies in the anime. They literally show her at one point. Like, there's a scene where everyone sends their energy to Sen and Yunika. Like, literally, Bridget's there, and yet people still were like, oh, they just killed off Bridget. And it's like, they don't?
はい、おしまい。いいんじゃないですか、これだけできれば。ありがとうございます。それじゃあ。はい、例の件問題なさそうです。じゃあ私はこれで。ちょっと聞いてないですけど、暇じゃないです。いえ、そういうことではなく、聞いてます？自由の国が聞いて呆れますね。切られた。ダメでしたか？あなたの規制は承認されました。私が同行することが条件だそうですが。ああ、せっかくの休暇がいい男探しですみません。リアラティアにおけるいい男探し手伝います。
So that's something else that is discussed a lot, is like Yunika being very confused by the concept of heterosexuality in this moment. But in all seriousness, the other thing is, like, Via Latia is... I thought the anime would end with the founding of Via Latia, which is, like, a country within Illyria where, like, gears and humans can coexist, and that Dizzy and Kai rule together, and that's why Kai abdicates at the end of the another story for this game. So I guess, like, it's between that epilogue for the another story and actually the another story itself is where Dual Rulers takes place. UMA? What's a UMA? That's a good question. I don't remember what that stands for either. I like how we went on this bike and just end up in the same exact canyon. Again, I am not going to pretend like I'm particularly qualified to show off Yunika's character. She's very fun though. Kind of broken too, like apparently some of her like frame windows are like bizarrely generous in ways that other characters don't get. And as a Disney main, I resent that ever so slightly. And we land the fancy thing. There we go. Actually, we might as well just go straight to finisher, but again, you can keep comboing in midair. It's very hard to land though, so... Basically, this portion of all of her dialogue in Strive implies this takes place a long time after Dual Rollers. Like, she ends up basically being, like, going to America and, like, just traveling around to try to find her shape, essentially. To continue the verbiage in the anime, ends up doing so, kind of. How she exists is also weird, because it's like, oh, she's from a doomed future, so like, if they change the past, like, how is she here? Like, like, it's one of those things where it's like, there's a lot to pick apart with Dual Rollers, genuinely, but it's like, as someone who just loves the characters and like, world building of Strive and Guilty Gear in general, it's like, I can kind of overlook some of it. A lot of it still is just like, literally, why is that not explained? but basically, like, the story mode is her finally going back to Violatia. Also, another weird thing, like, oh, Sin gave her that, because he has one too. They don't show that in the anime, and it's like, why wasn't that there in the anime? That would have made sense. The other beef people have with the anime is there are a couple of weird exclusions, specifically at the very end. Like, Dizzy and Kai actually get married, and people are like, why isn't Testament there? And in general, people are like, why isn't Testament here? Because, like, Testament is like Dizzy's kind of a... I don't know how to describe the relationship exactly, but they basically protected Dizzy in the forest. And so it's sort of like a parent relationship. So it's like, where is Testament during all of this? Now, someone also argue, given Testament's role in resurrecting justice, maybe there's a reason they're staying out of the United States. But even then, it's like... On a similar note, conversely, I almost feel like Baiken's inclusion is kind of forced in some ways. It's like, why is Baiken a part of the story? She's just kind of there for most of it. And it's like kind of awkward, I think. Johnny is also kind of like, why is he here? And also, where's May if Johnny is here? But a lot of the dialogue for Win, like opening and like intro and Win quotes are very cute between Bridget and Unica. There's one point where they're like, so what are we doing after this? And yeah, I think Unica says like, no, Bridget's like, so what are we doing after this? And Unica's like, winner decides. It's like, I don't think purely platonic friends talk this way to each other. Maybe I just don't know about that kind of thing happening. Like, I feel like that's typically presented as a romantic thing. The anime and also the game itself has a line in the extreme route. No guarantees we'll stay on the extreme route. But there's basically a line in the anime and the ending of the extreme route where Unica mentions that she's older than Sin, which is also weird, but because of time travel. So it's like, how old is she? We don't know. They haven't given her an age yet. But if she's older than Sin, she's gotta be like 6 years old. Which sounds wild, but like Guilty Gear logic, you know. Gears age extremely quickly to a certain point. Yeah, her design is alright. I almost wonder if she's gonna stick around. I guess that's like my biggest question in general with a lot of things in Strive. Like, how much is gonna carry forward? And also, like, you're gonna be missing characters that are like stable characters. Like, you're gonna be missing Eno, which is weird. The first 10-year-old in Guilty Gear, basically. Actually, Dizzy's almost 10. She's like 9, I think. Realizing that this move is just basically Elfelt, except it doesn't help back. This move reminds me of like Dizzy's like reverse quarter circle back Mikhail sword, but with the slash variant in terms of range, but also not as like fast. The problem with Mikhail sword is that's like Dizzy's best poke, which is very depressing. Like a Weed Naturally, of course, is also probably one of my favorite songs in Strive. I did a whole music tier list. I don't know why I'm still talking about this. Because it's like, yeah, I don't think I ever uploaded that anywhere though, beyond like the VOD though. I want to say there are shortcuts to all of our moves for mode Arbalest, but I forgot what they are. Yeah, I'm not proficient with this character yet. I've thought about it, like trying, but I haven't really been feeling Strive lately, just because I don't really feel like getting destroyed by people in online lobbies, to be honest. I've talked about this before, I'm pretty sure, but I always feel like I end up in a weird place with fighting games, where I simultaneously am like pretty decent at them, but also like very uneven with people in either directions, essentially. Like, I know people who I'm better than and people that I'm worse than, so it's really hard to find people that I'm actually relatively even with in terms of like trying to get better at the game. Smash was the biggest problem of that, where it's like I either got completely destroyed in Smash or I just would like 3-stock somebody, and it's like neither feel like it's fun in different directions, I guess, because the one I'm not getting a chance to learn, in the other case the other person's not getting a chance to learn. So again, I always just end up in a weird middle ground of skill level in fighting games, which is why I tend to just play very casually. Also, they never have her using her sword as a bike in the anime. Presumably it's some kind of upgrade that Soul does, or something, because it looks a lot like whatever the heck Soul's weapon is called. Junkyard Dog? That might be the wrong one, actually. Yeah, this is definitely very anime-tied. So a lot of things are not explained about her. A lot of the dialogue will not... A lot of the dialogue in her arcade mode I think will be totally understandable with like a brief explanation, like the Bridget, you know, intro lines are not going to be overly confusing, I don't think. Oops, there we go. But basically, there is some expectation of anime knowledge going in, which is fine. There's not a whole lot. Again, the Bridget scene, for example, like, that's one of the most shared scenes of the anime, so I'm not, like, overly expecting people to not understand the references there, at least. Yeah, she's kind of like Soul in terms of, like, you can kind of just go all in, rush down, and kind of a bruiser, essentially. But she's fun. I don't, like, dislike her playstyle, it just doesn't necessarily work for me sometimes. Though I don't know if I have a preferred archetype in general. Like, for example, I always think about what mains I have in every fighting game, and there's like no consistency in terms of like overall, like, what does this say about me, kind of? Like, I don't think there is a through line of like what kind of fighting game characters I enjoy playing as. I'm panicking. Ow. There we go. We are still on the extreme route, by the way. I am not struggling as much as I thought it would. Watch me get like Millie and get completely destroyed because I said that. There's also talks about, like, when are we even getting a new Guilty Gear, because they're still supporting Strive. Normally there's a couple year break in between. It'll probably be a while until we even get a new Guilty Gear after Strive is done. Like, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not, like, sure where they'll go with it, I guess. There's a lot of places they could go with it, for sure, but... I think this intro is funny, if we got the particular one, because each character that has a special intro will have a couple different variations. Okay, that wasn't the one. There's one where Unica doesn't know what a concert is, basically. Like, she pronounces it Concord, I think. Which, to be fair, the English language is very frustrating in that regard, where sometimes you have the same letter pronounced wildly differently in the same sentence. So it's like, I kinda can't blame her for that. Yeah, this is probably where we'll drop down to hard mode. Cause I don't know how to fight Elf. Case in point. Ouch. mild focus mode, actually. Ow. That's a good drop. Okay, that's very powerful. Ow. But again, the way this arcade mode does work is if you end up losing both rounds and having to restart everything, it doesn't matter. Basically, only if you win both rounds with one loss does it count. So like, if you want to stay on extreme, you can just lose a round on purpose. And like, just stay on that route, basically. Which is nice, in a way. I'm also so used to Dizzy, I still don't know how to play another character. I'm realizing adaptability is a problem I have. Because it's like, yeah, hell if I know how to actually make this character work. Because I'm so used to trying to do Dizzy stuff. So yeah, case in point, we will go back to this fight, and if we manage to win both rounds, we'll still be on extreme. So again, we still have a chance at it, as long as we just lose both rounds. I wasn't trying to, but it's fine. Alright, could have gone better, but it's fine. Again, maybe we'll try to get one of the other intros. But at some point we'll start skipping this. But again, since this lined up with a character who has special dialogue, you know, we might as well at least try to see it. Nope, same one. I'm trying to remember where this even is, setting-wise. Like, it's Times Square, I think. It's like, where is Times Square relative to Guilty Gear lore? It kind of reminds me of Alpha a little bit, actually, in terms of, like, having an overhead, and also having a projectile. That's a very vague connection. I should have done a DP there. But yeah, you can also DP on Wake Up, too, to avoid, like, some things, but... Ow, that's gonna hurt a lot, actually. The other thing worth noting is there's, like, no, buffs or nerfs in this patch. It's, like, entirely just add the character and fix a couple glitches. So, like, if you're still hoping, like, oh, I hope my main gets buffed, that's not in this patch. So, to me, that's a bummer, because I keep hoping Dizzy will get some kind of buff. Because, she's not doing great. Like, mainly her normals, she doesn't really have good pokes, essentially. Again, Mikhail's sword might be her best poke, from what I understand. It's just kind of not good. She lacks range in the cast with a lot of swords. That's not the input I was trying to do, Should've... all of this halted there. Oh well. We won. So we're still on the extreme route because of that. Like, this is weirdly smooth. I was not expecting this. For a character I barely knew how to play. Like, I'm just kind of BSing my way through this, and I'm kind of flying through here. Meanwhile, once we get to... If we get to extreme route, I will definitely... Like, extreme stage 9, I will suffer. Here comes Daredevil. So, if you get to stage 7, you get, like, a special fight with your rival of sorts. Yeah, if you lose a round in stage 1, then you drop to normal. If you lose a round after stage 1, you'll be on hard.
ビアラティア、楽しみにしてたんじゃないんですか？あ、はい、そうですね。でも緊張の方が強いかもです。お父さんとお母さんに会うのは久しぶりなので。今のあなたは脅威じゃないです。ただこの先もそうとは限りません。え？あなたは合衆国の敵ですか？それは見極めさせてもらいます。ビアラティアに着く前に。
It's kind of funny that she says she doesn't pose much of a risk given her risk assessment is the highest in the series. So yeah, the Post-War Administration Bureau, or whatever PWAB stands for, has like risk assessments for everyone. This has been a thing since Accent Core. Everyone's bios lists like a risk assessment. However, notably, Dizzy's is like S++, Unica's is S+++. Like, she is considered the most dangerous character. But the S+++ is based on in the anime where she's like, you know, trying to wipe out all gears. So, slightly different circumstances. Damn, okay. But yeah, I hope a lot of characters stick around from this game. I would love to see, like, Unica get a redesign for a next game. I'd like Giovanna to come back as well and actually get, like, something else to do plot-wise, because she kind of doesn't have a whole lot to do in the story at the moment. She's just, like, Secret Service, essentially. Oh, okay, the jump slash did not go off. Yeah. I'm dropping combos a lot, which isn't great. That's gonna hurt. Oh. Yeah, that's bad. Need to be a little careful. I keep expecting her projectile to come back the other way around like Elfeltz does. Oh, okay, this is it. I'm gonna die from this. But again, we can stay on this path if we lose again. I might try Lovelace Sin on Extreme. I don't promise a level 9 for Sin, because he's not gonna be fun to fight level 9 of. But level 8, I'm almost tempted at this point, because I'm not doing bad as Mika. I say as I'm actually trying to win this fight and not throw it, which I should be doing. If I want to try the level 8 fight, just to get the dialogue part. Again, it's like, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go for that, and I'm like, maybe I should go for that. Maybe it's doable. Cause like, I got through that way smoother than even Dizzy, and Dizzy's like, I mean again, Dizzy's not in a great place in the game at the moment, so maybe that's why I was struggling so much. And even then, I got through this arcade mode way faster than with any other character so far. To Extreme, to clarify. Okay, skip that, because we've seen it already. Yeah, she has a lot of similarities. I've seen some say she almost has similarities to Order Soul. I do not know enough about Order Soul and Accent Core to say if that's accurate or not. Or if that was just kind of a rumor for a bit. But I did hear discussions about that, for what it's worth. Again, do not have the know-how to say if that's remotely accurate or not. It'd help if I didn't forget a lot of my inputs, because I keep forgetting my moves, actually. Oops, I was trying to do a red wires, like our red RC there. Well, that was slightly anticlimactic, but it worked. And yeah, this stage makes sense for Dizzy. This is apparently near Via Latia, but they basically added a Via Latia stage now, and I kind of wish that was just Dizzy's stage. Like, you can see gears just roaming about. Like, if you know Overture and Xart, like, Dr. Paradigm is just vibing in the background. Which is, like, wild, actually. Like, not an Easter egg in a stage I was expecting. But cool. It's always nice to see, like, legacy characters. Not legacy, I mean, he's never been playable, but, like, you know, story characters show up. Dr. Paradigm, for context, is like a gear who assists in a couple of the games. Mostly Overture, and... Xrd. I don't think Dr. Paradigm is in the main story mode of Strive. I don't know if he's in another story though. That's very minus on block, I think. Oh, that was unfortunate timing. Alright, well, I'm bracing myself for this. This is gonna go bad.
私は自分自身で何かを決めたつもりになっていました。使命とか救済とか心地いい言葉を信じて周りを見てこなかったんです。そういう環境もありますからね。意外とみんな周り見えてないですよ。でもそのままじゃダメなんだって気づいたから、私は私自身の行いに責任を持つために自分で考えて考え抜いたことをしたい。私にできること、この平和を維持させる、それくらいしか思いつかなかったんです。それをやって初めて胸を張って家族に会えると思ったので。で、どうでした？難しいです。自分の判断をいつも疑ってしまうし、人から信頼されるにはまだまだなんだって思わされます。でも頑張りたいです。私自身が私を好きになるために。いいと思います、そういうの。あ、もう大体ビアラティアなんじゃないですかね。いや、もう少し。どうかな、レイ。やっぱりこの辺でいいよね。ここは大体ビアラティアということで同行も終わりです。じゃあ私今からオフだから。はい、わかりました。休暇明けに会おうね。じゃあね。
I will admit that dialogue does hit a bit close to me too, which is also part of the reason I like Yunica. Though I do feel like the overall plot for Yunica has been done so many times before in the series. The whole like, oh, Gear who did bad things trying to atone, it's like that describes so many characters at this point. That's fine. Anyway, Stage 8's in, on Extreme. Again, no guarantees about Stage 9, but we'll give this a shot. Okay, straight into it, okay. Hey, so Sid is a character I struggle to fight against anyway, let alone like a souped up level 9 version, which is part of the reason I'm like, maybe I should just stop here. Maybe I should just let him get around in, so we can just stop at level 8, because I have no clue what Stage 9 Sin is gonna be like. He's probably gonna have like full food gauge all the time or something ridiculous. The first character I ever attempted a Stage 9 run was with that. The first character I attempted a Stage 9 with was Bridget. It did not go well, because like Stage 8 Kai was completely destroying me. So I never even got to Stage 9. Again, this is the best I've ever done. Like, organically, like only 2 resets up to this point, one on Alphelt and one on Geo 2. Like, that's not bad for me. It's almost like playing a character for 3 months straight, like, helps with overall situational awareness even beyond just gameplay mechanics of that character. It's like I'm definitely using RC more than I used to. I've used Wild Assault a couple times, though I should still use it more. I also need to use Mode Arbalist more for Yunica in particular. Is that invincible? I don't know. It kind of feels like it has invincibility. Like the slide part, I mean. Yeah, I'm botching a lot of inputs here, but again, this is not a character I normally play, so I'm not expecting perfection out of this run. They're cute, actually, as a sibling duo. Alright, if there's not anything special, I'm pretty sure the dialogue's gonna be the same for this because this is a story fight, essentially. We'll start skipping this if it's the same. I don't know how many intro quotes each character has and how they even work in arcade. Alright, better start, for sure. Actually, can you slide into DP? Yeah, you can. Okay. That's good to know. Okay. But yeah, the main takeaway I'm having is, like, I think I've just gotten better at the game in general. Like, that's the main thing I'm really noticing. It's like, huh, I'm actually doing way better than I did as Dizzy when we did that stream playthrough. That was, like, very disastrous, I would say, at times. I mean, this is still not going, you know, ideally, obviously. You know, we are kind of struggling a little bit, and again, I shudder to think what level 9 is going to be like, but, you know, for stage 8, this is going pretty well. Like, that was smooth. Not on purpose, but it was smooth. Again, a lot of things that are happening on screen right now are completely accidental, I'm going to be honest. Because I don't quite understand how our combos work, but I'll also take it, because this is going very well so far. Alright, round 2. Ow. See, that's more of what I expected, how I expected that to go. So what do we want to do here? I also need to do this more. Shit. I forgot. Mikhail Sword's like the best way to break wall. It's Dizzy, but she doesn't have a heavy slash variant, only regular slash. So that threw me off. Ow. I'm gonna save first. I'm not feeling confident. Okay. Yeah, the only problem is if I get to stage 9, I'm gonna get obliterated. So it's like, do I just call it here? And not, you know, risk, you know, spending an hour extra on the stream trying to beat stage 9 Sin? Like, what do I do here? Is basically the thought process. Never mind, he's deciding that for me, I guess. That's fine by me, admittedly. It's also really weird to me how Sin's eye patch says hello on it. Like, it's very interesting. Chaos Gear designs are always kind of interesting. Okay, that did not combo the way I was hoping it would, but it's fine. Alright, so far so good. I need to do the other move. Sin drank his milk, yeah, it's always interesting, actually, like, Sin is like 5 years old. Which is like... Yeah, Yunika's gotta be like 6 or something if she's older than Sin. Which is like, that, I mean, that's older than when Kai and Dizzy got married, if we're being honest. Which is also wild to think about. And I realized we could do the cool thing, or at least attempt the cool thing, but that requires actually taking a huge risk of getting down to low health against a stage 8 Sin. So I don't know if I should do that. Ow. I mean, I guess we don't have a choice. Okay, I didn't think it was just gonna stand there and take it, but I had hope. I saw a burst, so that's not bad. Ow. Ow. Yeah, that's good. Actually, the super would just kill at this point, so we might as well not try to be fancy. I'm just gonna be cheap. There we go.
なんで知らねえやつの話してんだよ。ユニカは頑張った。俺はそれが分かった。そこは本当のことじゃねえか。
ごめん。
いや、悪い。強く言っちまったけどさ。でも自分が頑張った分くらいは俺に自慢してくれよ。そうしてくれたらきっと俺も嬉しいから。あ、ごめん。泣かせるつもりじゃ。
泣いてない。
そっか。ああ、あれか。鼻水か。今日ちょっと寒いもんな。うん。
バカ。
I do want to acknowledge the normal ending. No, the hard mode ending. So if you go to hard mode before stage 8, the the initial story character will team up with you to fight the boss. So this is Geo in this case. And it ends with Unica and Sin basically like roping Giovanna in to go to dinner at like Dizzy and Guy's place. It's very fun. And then the extreme route ending is kind of not too different from that, but overall it has the undertone of also like one establishing, yeah, Sin gave her a pendant, and also that I don't know. Yeah, they mentioned the age joke again. They also don't list the voice actors for Unica in this at all, which I assume has to do with the actor strike currently. That everyone currently credited in the game is just like was already in there, but like I assume it's something like that. But this would have also been recorded like a long time ago, so yeah, I like Unica a lot. I think her story is very resonant. I think the Extreme Stage 8 ending is actually more resonates more with me than the Stage 9 ending. So I'm actually glad to finally see that, because I don't think I saw anyone upload that. So again, very happy to have experienced that. And again, it definitely hits a little close to home, if I'm being real. But I did enjoy that a lot. Again, she's a very interesting character. At this point, she's kind of trying to atone for everything that happened in Dual Whirlers, which makes a lot of sense, and again, I do relate to some degree. Yeah, the interesting thing with Unica is just, yeah, at this point, you know, it's kind of implied that she hadn't even seen Sin or her parents until this point in the story, so who knows how long it's been. It also raises the question of when did she discover that, like, Thunder Seal's inside her weapon, or like the whole like growing a tail thing for her super. It's like, when did she unlock that power? We don't know, because it's never been shown. Which is kind of one of those things where I know a lot of people are like, why wasn't this in the anime? Or why wasn't this, you know, in the game? Why wasn't this explained better? I'm also kind of like, so much time has passed between the story moments that we know that I almost don't feel that picky about it, I guess. Maybe that's just my story approach to everything. It's like, I don't need direct answers for a lot of things if like a time jump is established. Like, it doesn't really need to be stated overtly for me to be like okay with it. But again, this is implied that like this is after she comes back and she's seeing everyone for the first time, including Bridget in her win quotes, or in her intro quotes. It's very much like, hey, show me what you learned, kind of a thing. That's kind of the other problem with Dual Whirlers, is Bridget's role is weirdly, like, truncated, in terms of, like, there's no real closure to their relationship in the anime. Though again, it is implied in the game that they actually didn't even cross paths until this point in the game. So I guess that does make sense that, you know, Bridget's not at the wedding, because then there'd be a plot hole. So yeah, there's a lot of weird oddities with Dual Whirlers. I think it's almost like a Persona 5 to Persona... a Persona 5 Royal to Persona 5 Strikers issue where both were being developed concurrently, so some things don't line up very smoothly. You can technically explain some things away, but it's not like the smoothest thing. I think it's kind of the same thing. This lines up mostly with Dual Whirlers, but there are a couple of things of like, when did she learn this? In like the few months that she's been traveling, presumably, but it's never shown. But again, I don't feel overly strongly about like needing all this the particulars, or maybe they'll do a separate story mode focused on Unica for like season 5, a hypothetical season 5 or something. I also kind of feel like Dual Rulers itself feels a bit like a story mode for Guilty Gear Xrd and Strive, for all the good and bad that entails of sometimes being very much leaning into lore dumps and also having very stiff animation at times. Decent fight scenes, except there's a lot of like freeze frames to like spare the budget essentially. So in general, like Dual Rulers is kind of like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but a 6 or 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, at least, just because again I am mildly biased about Guilty Gear probably to some degree. That helps. So like for someone who's not super into the lore or is more like casually into the series, it will one be very confusing, and two be very like possibly unsatisfying at times. But again, I did enjoy Dual Rulers quite a bit for what it's worth. I do also just really want to quickly show off. Okay, I do quickly want to show off. Yeah, they added 2 new stages in the name of peace. The stage still marked by the claws of the Crusade, so like a grassland that's grown over like the ruins of the Crusade. That's cool. And then New Dawn, a future unfolding, the stage of a bustling kingdom home to Geo. So this is Violot, yeah, for sure. Yeah, just for the sake of example, we're gonna hop over the bridge. I had a brief moment of like, I hope I don't have mods turned on, because I don't know what kind of mods I would have had turned on. But anyway, no need to worry about that, at least. Again, just to show it off a little bit, there's Octo Paradigm on the right. He's in the stage transition area, so we won't be seeing him on this first screen, unfortunately. Yeah, they have a lot of entrance quotes together, and they're all very good. I do recommend looking into them at some point, because they are very nice. And again, gives a nice little bit of like closure to, again, the story arc that doesn't have closure in the anime. But again, the implication of they don't see each other again until the actual game of Strive where Unica's playable. It does make sense from that regard, but it does mean the actual anime is slightly anticlimactic as a result. Or unresolved, I guess. But again, overall, a decent experience, but could have used a few more little moments. Like 2 more episodes might have helped. But yeah, you have to call back to their exchange in, was it episode 4, I think? One problem with Unica is her intro animation is so goddamn long. It kind of means getting all of the intro quotes in takes a bit, but we'll give it one more shot. And we got the exact same one. Cool, thanks game. Yeah, this game can just be like that sometimes. I also realized I still had set to round 1 because of trying to find intro quotes. Like, Dizzy and Unica have intro quotes together, which you expect. I'm pretty sure it's not faster if you choose Dizzy as player 1. I like how you have the little like gradient blue around the eyelashes too for both. So again, as soon as Unica was revealed, everyone's like, she's Dizzy's daughter, isn't she? They have the same eyes. It's kind of interesting how Dizzy and Unica are almost like more alike, and then Sin and Kai are more alike in a way. Also, the announcer says Unica is so like happily. It's really weird actually, because it's very different pronunciation compared to all of the other ground announcers. You tell this is a character I've practiced a lot more with. I mean, this is still a normal difficulty, but the point still stands. It's like I put a couple hours into Dizzy, and only about like 100 something. Cause like literally, I had like 70 hours in this game period, and then when Dizzy came out, it went up to like 100 something. Like I played a lot of Dizzy when she was new. I still am playing Dizzy more so than Unica. I don't mind Unica's gameplay. Double perfect, case in point. But I'm just so used to Dizzy's playstyle, I feel like I can make a lot happen with this character, even if she's still not in a great state according to a lot of people who make tier lists. Or like, yeah, Dizzy's not in a great spot. She needs some massive buffs, essentially. But again, I'm just having fun with her, so I don't really care. And also, as a character, I just really like Dizzy, so I kind of put up with gameplay if I like the character enough. And also because I'm not like as into classic Guilty Gear, like I don't have as much muscle memory for like accent core Dizzy compared to like even Xrd. I didn't play that much, so some who played Dizzy for years are like, yeah, she plays so differently, it's really jarring, but I don't have that as much. I like how Bridget permanently is like colon 3. Yeah, a lot of the again, different characters do have like separate round starts for both sides, which is nice. It's been a while since I've actually played Bridget. Seriously. Bridget was like my sort of main before. One sec. I'm just gonna do this real quick. We're gonna wrap up stream soon, but again, just want to show off some of the round intro quotes and victory quotes. But again, it's been a long time since I've like seriously tried to learn, like seriously try to play Bridget, unfortunately. So this is not as clean as with Dizzy. So yeah, in general, I kind of expect a balance patch sometime after Lucy, but between that and Season 5, if there's one. I'm not really... And also they like said they were gonna add character moves in for everybody. They still haven't added moves for everyone they said they would. So like, there's still stuff missing that they literally promised like ages ago. So like, I think at some point, down the road, we're gonna get like a major balance like update. And we'll see if it breaks everything or not, like the Season 4 one did. Cause yeah, the Season 4 balance patch did not go over well. It's kind of like what happened with Tekken 8. Except I almost feel like people just kind of didn't mind it as much with Guilty Gear for some reason. Like everyone just kind of put up with it as much as they could. It wasn't as broken as Tekken 8, to be fair, but still not as much. They're so cute though. Yeah. We'll call it there. That was a decent showing, I hope. Again, I'm glad I got to stage 8 Extreme as smoothly as I did. I was genuinely surprised by that. Legit was not expecting to get through the Extreme route as smoothly as I did. I almost want to go and try the stage 9 Extreme now. I'm gonna do that off stream if I do, just because I don't really want to deal with it on stream where it's like I have to worry more about actually, you know, being on, I guess. Being a little bit more like, you know, focused, locked in, but also trying to commentate, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do sometimes. But, you know, full focus, I think I could do the Extreme route. Also, because again, you don't really get a good look at it in the Super, but yeah, you have the alternate Unica design, which I really like, actually. Again, if Unica comes back in like a hypothetical next Guilty Gear, I kind of hope she's like more like this is more of her standard look, kind of. Like it's just that's how she looks all the time. I think that'd be really cool. Now the ridiculous detail of Guilty Gear clothing styles. Oh, Thunderstruck, that's clever. I also don't know how different this weapon is from the one in the anime. I frankly kind of forgot. She also has a different helmet, which makes sense given that the other helmet probably was from like her crappy adoptive father. And then just the basic portrait art. And some move concepts for her. Yeah, some cool stuff in here. Again, I like Guilty Gear. I'm also biased though, because I'm just into like the characters. And again, like I was saying before, Unica's story in general just kind of hits close to home in a way that I really enjoy, but also feel called out by it at the same time. However, again, I just resonate with a lot of the characters in this series, and the overall vibes of it I resonate with. So, her jacket is the final present she received from someone who showed her kindness. Who is that? Is that explained? I don't think it is, actually. I don't know if that comes up at all now that I think about it, so, huh. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I missed something. But either way, ads are about to start, so we're gonna call it. Someone just went live, so we'll go raid them. I don't really have a raid message in mind. Like, so we can just do a raid, like a non-message raid, but hey, Star just went live, so... I'll send everyone over there. She is going to play Mario Galaxy. Yeah, this was fun. Both the Splatoon portion and the Strive portion, 2 games again I feel very emotionally attached to. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope everyone had a good time as well. Next stream will hopefully be Monday. We'll be trying to finish up Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga and seeing how that goes. And then next Thursday might be something special because, hey, we're gonna be... Oh shoot, no! June 5th is next Thursday. There will definitely be something special next week. Yeah, you could say that. So yeah, look forward to that. Hopefully I will be feeling up to streaming on next Thursday, because again, there's legitimate reasons to do something special next Thursday. Or we might just do a game clearing of something. Yeah, take care everybody. Oh yeah, and also like socials, you can find my YouTube and like Blue Sky, where I post some updates and mostly retweet fan art. Below in the description, I also have like a throne and a coffee for donations and other forms of support, but again, completely optional as always. Just hanging out and lurking and chatting and all that is still greatly appreciated, and plenty of support. Now I'm going to say, yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Good night, everybody.